Hey guys, Ace Cock again. I'm going to be reading one last fan fiction because, I just, okay, I don't want to say it's my last, but judging by the way things have been going, because, I posted that last video and said, yeah, I'll be reading more, but, things have just been going off lately, and, don't be expecting fan fictions all the time. I know most of you aren't expecting fan fictions all the time because I never post them and whatnot. But this is gonna be kind of like probably one of the last My Little Pony videos that I'll ever do. So if I ever upload other things, it's just gonna be shit that you guys don't really care for, like Mackie D. Gop and other things. I don't know, just other things that aren't related to ponies, really. So, this will probably be the last fanfic I read, but to make it a good one, I know how popular, and before any of you get excited about My Little Dashie sequel, I'm not reading that because I don't believe that the sequel is actually a good idea, because I think that My Little Dashie, being the single story as it is good. It's good to leave it like that. I don't want to expand on it. I don't want closure because that would ruin the story for me. I like the way it ends and everything. So, I know how popular my Dicks Everywhere interlude. I can't even remember what the second part of it was, but I know that was kind of popular, so I'm going to be reading Dicks Everywhere 2, Penile Palooza. So, without further ado, 2 minutes into this, let's get started. It was cold, and Rarity had taken all the covers for herself. Rainbow Dash couldn't believe it, but in the entirety of the Carousel Boutique, Rarity had only a single blanket. Rainbow Dash had come in earlier during the day to get her flight suit prepared, and the sun had already set by the time Rarity was finished. While most ponies getting clothes repaired would simply go home and pick them up the next day, Rainbow Dash didn't trust Rarity to just repair her flight suit, leave a designer alone for too long, and she tried her hooves at beautifying anything. Fearing that her flight suit might end up too frilly, the rainbow-colored pony elected to stay and keep an eye on Rarity. Come nightfall, the friends figured that Rainbow Dash may as well spend the night with Rarity, so as to avoid the pain of flying at night. Rainbow Dash was having a bit of a difficult time falling asleep. She wasn't used to beds, just clouds. It looked like Rarity had already fallen asleep, and she was now pressing herself up against Rainbow Dash. This was going to be a sleepless night for sure. 10 minutes later, Rainbow Dash had nearly managed to fall asleep before she felt something pressing into her back. Only after opening her eyes and turning around to push Rarity a distance away, did she notice what it was. A massive horse dick, nearly 1.5 feet long. That's pretty long. It couldn't be real, could it? Tentatively, Rainbow Dash poked it. Chances were Rarity was just trying to get back at her for the prank she'd played a few days back, but as Rainbow Dash's forehoof grazed the gargantuan cock, she could have sworn she saw Rarity squirm. No! Thought the blue pony. It must have been my imagination. She touched the pole once more, just to be certain. This time, Rarity's eyes shot open. Rainbow Dash! She yelled. Now just what do you think you're doing? It's real? I wasn't sure. Flustered, Rarity responded. Why, darling, just because I'm a lady doesn't mean that I don't have a penis. Rainbow Dash ran a hoof down the cock. It definitely was attached to Rarity. The toothpaste white pony blushed. Yes, Rainbow, she said. It's real. Now, if you would be so kind as to stop that. A mischievous grin dawned upon Rainbow Dash's face before her head lunged at the cock, taking a full half of it into her mouth. Rarity's jaw dropped in shock before her expression changed instead into a smile. That, she said to the pony sucking on her marecock, is just fine as well. Just fine, darling. Rarity felt great. She moved her friend's forehooves onto the bottom half of her meat rod. Meat rod. Before laying back in bliss. She hadn't expected that Rainbow Dash would be able to work such wonders with her tongue, and the sensations were growing a bit too much. Rainbow Dash herself was leaking maple syrup from her candy hole, and removed one of her forehoofs from Rarity's monster dong, so she could rub herself. Rainbow Dash slowly lifted her head off Rarity's ramrod while delicately going over the bottom of the shaft with her tongue. Rarity squeed in bliss. Rarity, said Rainbow Dash, spreading the curtains to her tunnel of love as she lay on her back. Put it in me. Guiding her cunt crusher into position, Rarity exhaled happily. If you buck as well as you fillet, dear, I can forget about trying to nab a prince's plot hole. Rainbow Dash grunted as the fashionista pony's wrecking ball plowed into her sugary insides. Rarity only had time to thrust in and out once before a noise made her jump back in shock. Let's see, hang on. Hang on, I gotta figure out which character this is, because I don't want to get the voices mixed up. Is this Twilight Sparkle, or Pinkie Pie, or Fluttershy? I don't know. Said a voice behind her. Yeah, it's Twilight, alright. Hi, Rarity, said a voice behind her. I'm glad to see you're still awake. I just got word from Princess Celestia, and I'm needed in Canterlot tomorrow. And I was hoping you could fix this hole in my dress. It looks like some worms got to it. Don't worry, I'll pay you double, and... The newly arrived purple pony suddenly stopped talking. My, she said before starting to back out of the room. I guess I shouldn't teleport directly into your room next time. Rainbow Dash hid under the blanket while Rarity turned around and looked at Twilight sheepishly. Yeah, was all Rarity could think of to say. After a few seconds of silence, she continued. You could just leave your dress on the counter. I'll get to it soon. It's just that right now, I'm a little busy. All right, Rarity, acknowledged Twilight cheerily as she levitated her dress over to the counter and that Rarity had pointed out. I'll pick it up in the morning, all right? Yes, Twilight, goodbye, screeched Rarity. Twilight's horn lit up as she began to cast a teleport spell. Finally peeking out from under the covers, Rainbow Dash yelled, Twilight! You can't just barge into something like this and leave like nothing happened. Get over here! The magic in Twilight's horn faded. Are you sure? Rainbow Dash? Rarity? Rainbow Dash nodded. Rarity looked at Rainbow Dash and then at Twilight before speaking. Well, she said, I suppose more friends, more fun. Come on, Twilight. I thought you'd never ask, that's pretty cheesy, responded Twilight before climbing into Rarity's bed. Rarity smiled at her before inserting her cement roller into Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash smiled, but Twilight telekinetically pulled Rainbow Dash's mouth open. How big of a horsecock do you want? Asked Twilight as a magical dick, 12 inches long, sprouted from her nether regions. Tell me if that's too big for you. Rainbow Dash tried to speak, but Twilight's telekinesis was still forcing her mouth open. Not big enough? Asked Twilight. No worries. Twilight's horn glowed yet again as her cock extended to be nearly 2 feet in length. Straddling Rainbow Dash's face, she forced the entire purple sparkle penis down the blue pony's throat. And then Rainbow Dash gagged on a 2-inch penis and died. Rainbow Dash gagged audibly as Rarity continued to pound away, letting a squeal escape her with every stroke. For those of you not reading along at home, she didn't really die. It's just that, with something like a 2-foot-long horse penis in your throat, I'd assume that one would have trouble breathing. And probably die. Most likely. Maybe. Probably. So she's not dead. Let's see, where was I? Rainbow Dash gagged audibly as Rarity continued to pound away, letting a squeal escape her with every stroke. While she continued to ravage the struggling Rainbow Dash's mouth, Twilight Sparkle felt something press up against the bag of holding that was her sparkly purple pony vagina. If Rarity was in front of her, then who could be behind her? Unless it was... Twilight saw Trixie looking at her with the most douche-tastic grin imaginable. Twilight, she said calmly, the great and powerful Trixie figured she'd scry a bit to see what you were up to, and you want something like this without telling Trixie? How shameful. Trixie's $5 footlong found its way into Twilight's moist Indus Valley and began to pound away, making Twilight's thrusts into Rainbow's mouth spastic. The gagged pony had a look of panic on her eyes. Trixie recognizes these lesser ponies, the British blue one and the prissy white one. Ignoring Trixie, Twilight continued to pound away into Rainbow Dash while Rarity gave Trixie a look of What the hell are you doing in my house? Trixie simply continued to grin and make laser sounds with her mouth as her marine frigate docked with Twilight Sparkle's mothership, readying itself for troop deployment. Trixie lit up her horn, causing a large rubber horsecock to appear near her, nearly 6 inches in diameter. "For you, Blue Pony," said Trixie matter-of-factly as she floated the artificial appendage over to Rainbow Dash's anus. A plot device.
Plot device? Because it's like, it's a story, so you got the plot, like the ass and the butthole.
Yeah. Yeah. Rainbow Dash winced in pain at the massive dildo, the size of the sun. Ouch. Penetrated her Venetian canal. Rarity yelped as Rainbow's sudden movement brought her to orgasm, her organ gun firing rapid bursts of authentic Mexican-style sour cream into Rainbow Dash. Yawning, the marshmallow pony lay down on the floor. "Would you ponies take it from here?" she asked. "I still need to get some sleep." Rainbow Dash choked as bursts of Twilight's unborn fillies made their way down her throat. Finally, Twilight pulled out. I almost gagged reading that. Rainbow Dash coughed up. Not that I wouldn't want lots of semen down my throat. Rainbow Dash coughed up at some of Twilight's seed before speaking. "Ah, Buck," she said before coughing again. I was about to pass out. Ignoring the 2 ponies that had left their mini-orgy, Trixie continued to pound into Twilight with all her might. Lighting up her horn, she expanded the size of her mammoth erection until Twilight's wind tunnel of a vagina was stretched to its limits. Only then did the obviously best pony allow herself to ejaculate. The plague of locusts that was her semen of fury moving through Twilight's horse vagina. A few minutes later, and Twilight and Trixie found themselves asleep as well. Only Rainbow Dash was still up, trying to decide which ponycock to jam into herself first. What a cliffhanger for episode 2. 3. That was nothing like the first one. But for those of you that are still here, still listening, wondering, no, I'm not really a brony anymore, so it just doesn't give me the same sense of passion and feeling that I don't like the show as much anymore. I don't like the community as much anymore. It's evolved to a level that I do not believe that I want to be part of anymore. And I just don't get the same feeling of enjoyment whenever I go online and see posts about ponies and see the episodes. In fact, I haven't seen all the episodes of even Season 2 yet, and I've only seen what do they call it? The pilot. Yeah, that's what they call it. The pilot episode of Season 3. So, that's just not my thing anymore. So that's why I don't really want to read these. I have already explained myself about 6 times. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear it again, so I'm not a brony anymore. Just to clarify. So yeah, this will be probably my last pony fanfiction ever. Thank you guys. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I was thinking about making another video for this, but I guess I can just fit it in here. Thanks for all of my subscribers that are still here. Almost 10,000. Thanks, all of you, for staying there with me along the way, through the good times and the bad. Thanks for all of the fan art and fan work, because really, you know, it's not the feedback that I get, it's not the support that I get, which, you know, those things are really nice, and I do still love those, but really, every time I see, like, fan art or fan music or something that a fan made that relates to me, that's what really warms my heart with joy. It's something that I really do love to see, is when somebody puts their talent to work to pay homage to me, I guess. I don't know. But I just love seeing fans and how they tribute their talents to making my day just a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? It's all of you who have helped me get this far, and I couldn't have got this far without you. And so I just, you know, I'm sorry that I don't have anything to offer you anymore except for junk. But thanks. Like I've said about 6 times. Thanks a lot. Thank all of you. Yeah. That's yeah. You know, I was never good at ending videos. I'd always end them with a yeah or a that's all or something like that. So this time I'm just ending a video with a thank you to everybody. That should about do it. I'm really just talking to myself at this point. Yeah, so that'll be it. thanks for the stuff. Yeah, that's it.